Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up now. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up now.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. It's good to see you guys. I was trying to look behind me since we moved some stuff around to see what it looked like, but it looks fine. Welcome into tonight's live. It is Sunday, the 26th of January. We're here. We're ready for it. We're going to talk about a couple of different cases tonight. So get settled in. How is everybody? Oh, look at Wizard Walt coming in with the Japanese hello. Hey, Princess. Princess said, number one, I'll be back later. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Ladybug. Hey, Ashley. Yeah, why are they taking it away? Because mine, because right when you guys were talking about that, I hit the like on it. And I think I was like number 4 or something like that. I should put that on here. Yeah, we're getting ripped off and I don't like it. Don't be ripping me off, YouTube. We need all the likes we can get over here, you know? Hey, Dawn. Hey, Lisa. Not saying that we're not loved, you know, or liked, but we are. Hey, Worthler. I didn't realize that Vincent was ordering food like until the doorbell rang. I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I ordered DoorDash. And I was like, oh. It was literally like 5 minutes before the live. But it took me like all of 2 minutes to eat. So I was really quick. Hey, Loves to Lurk. I was just thinking of you earlier while we were talking earlier, but I was thinking of the Madalena case and I was pulling up cases to talk about tonight. And I saw that Law and Crime did. The Law and Crime? Yeah, Law and Crime did an actual piece on her. I was very surprised. Hey, Jenny, welcome in. Hey, DM. I don't know if I said hey to you. Tennessee gal, how you feeling? I know you've been missing some lives. I've been wondering where you've been because I know you didn't feel good. You were hurt last time. So, hey, Lori, welcome in. Hey, Barbara. And if I missed you, I'm sorry. Hey, Lenora. Hey, Wizard Walt. Konnichiwa. Okay, yeah, I can't say the rest. Minya, Yeah, I wish I could say that. I need to be able to speak, some Japanese, like a hello, how are you would be nice to learn. Then I could say that to Vincent's mom. Just, a little something, something, but then don't make me say any cuss words. I guess his dad knew, Japanese, but he said a word wrong one time, and then he didn't speak it after that. I wonder what the word was. I'm assuming it, like, was a word that was probably a bad word, and he meant it in a good way, but, like, it was just a bad word. Because that's the only thing I could think of that would make me wanna quit the whole language. "Hey, Aries, how are you doing?" "Hey, Angel." And if I'm bothering, like, with my eye and stuff throughout the live, don't worry about that. That's just something's going on with this little sucker that I just got. No, no. Feeling better, doing better? You're welcome. You're welcome. So I have a ton of cases that are pulled up. I mean, not like a ton, but I have some. And I was just reading something on Twitter. So I am wearing my green tonight. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, so let's just put that out there to Aries. Aries is the one that would care. We going. We're going and we're going to win this time. But let me go ahead and pull up. I actually found this, and I didn't even realize that this hadn't come to a conclusion. For some reason, I thought that he had already. I'm talking about Audrey Cunningham, but I thought that the suspect in that case, he had already like pled guilty and did all this. But I think I'm thinking of another case. So it just says here, 11 Audrey Cunningham. If you don't remember, she was 11 years old. She was from Livingston, Texas. She was supposed to be taken to school to the bus stop by a family friend, Don Stephen McDougal. And he had been living on his friend's parents' property in this cab. Was it cab over camper? So it's like one of those campers you put in the back of like a truck. He ended up doing the horrible things to her, unaliving her. We covered the case when it happened, but they go over it here on Sidebar, and I thought we would listen to this. And they do actually have laws that are going to be coming into place for Audrey. So that's really, really good. Not only are we getting justice, but we're getting laws changed. That's the best that you can hope for in a situation that's this gruesome, They're your favorite team, Wizard Wall? I didn't know that. They're mine too. When I came out of the womb, my dad was like, "Oh, Eagles fan. Sorry." My mom and dad are from Philadelphia. I was born there. Didn't live there very long, but my mom and my dad were raised there. So my dad was a huge Eagles fan. I have one like Eagles ornament that goes on the tree in the middle of my beautiful tree. It has this one Eagles ornament I put on there every year for my dad. But yeah, so I always I'm always happy when they get far, just because of my dad. I know he's up there rooting them on right now. He's probably having the day. So we'll listen to this and we'll kind of go over Audrey's case. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you have any other cases that you're thinking of that you want an update on, let me know. I do have a bunch pulled up, so we'll go through them as we kind of go along here. Let me go back so we can remember he was naked in the jail cell. Just remember that. I just remembered. Oh my gosh. What a gentleman,
Pled guilty and was sentenced. As the family of Audrey Cunningham delivers emotional victim impact statements, we try to make sense of this conclusion. Was it justice? Why no death penalty?
Look at them. Oh my gosh, they even had to mark. Look, do you see this blurred out? That's because that is white stuff. You know what I mean? Like privilege, white privilege, I would call it. I'm going to call it that. I don't know what to call it without getting like dinged from YouTube, but they are, that's what's on his arm, or like his shoulder arm. So I don't know. The dude has his shirt off and he's drinking a 16-ounce beer with the crazy tattoos. I wouldn't let him live on my property. I'm just saying.
Well, looking at his past, could
With
this
my 11-year-old
maybe have been prevented?
a granddaughter,
Welcome to
no.
Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. We're trying to make sense if justice was served after a plea deal for a child killer. We're talking about Don Stephen McDougal. The 43-year-old pled guilty to one of the 2 counts of capital murder he was facing in connection with the savage
Ain't scared. Remember that tattoo? I forgot about that.
killing of 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham. This is out of Livingston, Texas. It's about 70 miles from Houston. This was the girl who was reported missing back in February of last year after she never made it to school. And 5 days later, her body was found in a river tied to a rock. The medical examiner concluded that the 5th grader died from homicidal violence, including blunt head trauma. And McDougal, he was a family friend, lived on a trailer on the family's property, according to CNN. This is a guy with a criminal history, and we're going to talk about that. He had the responsibility of taking Audrey to her bus stop the morning that she vanished.
See, they have them even. Actually, there's the bolts right there, but they have like whatever this is covered.
What was the evidence against him, aside from the fact that he was supposed to be watching her? Well, he lied about where he was and
Imagine receiving that selfie.
what he was doing. There was also video footage. There was cell data. The rope that was used in connection with tying her down was apparently consistent with the rope that was found in McDougal's car, according to court documents. And now he has pled guilty. And as part of that plea agreement, he gets life in prison without the possibility of parole. According to Click 2 Houston, that means his other capital murder count was dropped, indicating the prosecution could have potentially been able to present more evidence for that charge, but not clear what that evidence was, and it wasn't disclosed to the defense. Additionally, Click 2 Houston has also reported that the prosecutors dropped McDougal's other 4 pending criminal cases per this deal. And it's not because there wasn't enough evidence to convict him in those cases, but they say as a matter of practicality, it didn't make sense because he's facing life in prison now. Those other charges wouldn't have really affected that. Polk County Criminal District Attorney Shelley Bush Sitton released a statement saying, the Polk County District Attorney's Office is announcing today that Don Stephen McDougal has accepted responsibility for his actions in the kidnapping and murder of Audrey Cunningham. Don Stephen McDougal will spend the rest of his life behind bars without the opportunity to appeal or seek parole. This agreement reflects the gravity of the offenses committed and ensures the safety of our community and our children. And as for why there was no death penalty here, well, Sitton stated, after intense and diligent review of the law and medical records, the determination was made that Don Stephen McDougal was not eligible for a death penalty sentence under the existing law. This resolution ensures that McDougal is being punished to the fullest extent available under the law and spares the family the emotional toll of a prolonged trial. And
What is it, like his IQ level's really low or something they're going to say? I feel like that doesn't get you off. That doesn't get you off. Because you can be not book smart, and you can still have some common sense about you and know right from wrong.
Appeal process. Now, before we get into what was said at his sentencing hearing, and there were some things that were said, I want to bring on Texas attorney Jeffrey B. Simon to talk more about this. Jeffrey, thanks so much for coming here on Sidebar. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Overall thoughts on this crime before we even get to the law of it? I mean, I'm curious, was this a case that was talked about a lot in your state? It's not every day you hear about an 11-year-old who's killed and found in a river tied to a rock like this. Your overall thoughts on the actual crime?
That, in addition to its heartbreaking nature and some questions about why the family allowed this person to be so close to their daughter, the case involves 2 very provocative legal issues, which can't be separated from the nature of the crime itself, because one of them helped.
Like, should they be charged with neglect for allowing him to take her to school? Like, I don't know.
The defendant commit this heinous crime, and the other helped him avoid the death penalty as punishment for it.
What are those provocative issues?
Well, Mr. McDougal, the defendant, had, as you point out correctly, previously pled guilty to having committed a sex crime against a child, specifically enticement of a child. But because he pled to a misdemeanor rather than a felony, he wasn't required to register as a sex offender in Texas. And that legal loophole proved to be very consequential in this case, at least according to Audrey's family, because they say they checked the registered sex offender list and he wasn't on it. And they
I mean, it takes your first time to get on there, though, or, 15th time. Who knows how many times these guys actually do it before they're caught. Really. It's sickening, but
say that had they seen his name, they would have never allowed him to be so close to them, and more importantly, to Audrey.
I'm going to get into his criminal history in a second, but look, the stories that we cover on Sidebar show that the world can be a pretty scary place. It's true. And for those of you thinking, how do I even go about?
He's about to do a commercial. Yep, I knew it. Trying to sneak that commercial in here.
Law passed called Audrey's Law that would have made it a requirement for him to be on the sex offender registry. Do you know what the status of that is and what that would entail? What would that look like?
Well, I don't yet know what the status is insofar as I can tell you that the Texas legislative session just started. It started just a few days ago. So no doubt that law, if introduced and when introduced, will go through the subcommittee process and then perhaps on to the floor, both in our Senate and our House for vote, where if it then passes, would have to be signed into law or vetoed by Governor Abbott. Now, having said that, the idea that a sex offender, especially one who has preyed upon a child, should avoid or be...
Nothing irks me worse than when guys used to do that crap with their belt, put their belt loop in their pocket. I haven't seen someone do that in probably 20 years.
Allowed to avoid to register as a sex offender simply because they pled to a misdemeanor, I don't think makes sense to anyone, whether they have legal training or otherwise.
So the counter argument to that would be, well, he wasn't convicted of the higher sex crime. Why should he have to register? A mere arrest is a mere arrest. Now, looking at this case, I would say, yeah, he should have been on the sex offender registry. It would have given them notice. But I guess the counter argument is, how can you put somebody on the registry if they are arrested to something, but they ultimately plead guilty to a lesser charge? He wasn't convicted of the charge that would have put him on the registry.
Well, but he did plead. Now, I agree that if that to which he pled had no connection to a sex offense, then I would agree with that. But to the extent that he pled to enticement of a child or something related to it, I would argue that a sex offense is a sex offense. And whether it is punishable as a felony or only as a misdemeanor doesn't change its very nature. And that's
what he did before. It was like an 11-year-old or 13-year-old. It was something like that. It was a young girl. He had tried to entice her for, sex, I guess. And she ended up telling on him. And that's it. He should have been on the registry.
Who, plead down to something that is of a sexual offensive nature should register. They should be required to.
And I want to talk a little bit more about his criminal history in a minute, but going back to the facts of this case, do you have any doubt that he would have been convicted based on the evidence that we know so far in this case? I mean, let me rephrase. Obviously, trial is always a risk, but based on the evidence that was presented, it seemed like a straightforward prosecution against him.
I agree. As reported, the evidence seemed overwhelming against him. And clearly, the decision to reach a plea deal had more than anything to do with what the district attorney felt were the constrictions on how to sentence him, specifically what she perceived to be the legal impediment to having him sentenced to the death penalty.
Is this justice, though? Is this justice in the sense that, yes, he's going to be spending the rest of his life in prison, no opportunity for appeal, no opportunity for parole, but one of his other charges was dropped? The other 4 cases were dropped. We could talk about the death penalty. The idea here is there was something in his background that made the death penalty impossible, whether it was the impediments of the law and the medical records. Because according to 6ABC, the DA's office had indicated that under Texas law, if there is a documented intellectual or developmental disability, that would limit a prosecutor's ability to seek the death penalty. So in other words, what I'm asking is this justice? Is this, I hate to say best because we're dealing with the death of an 11-year-old, nothing will bring her back, but is this the best resolution for this case, legally speaking?
Yes, if the district attorney is correct in her assessment that Mr. McDougal is so severely mentally impaired that he falls within the ambit of people that, according to the Supreme Court decision of Atkins versus Virginia in 2002, cannot be sentenced to death because their mental defect is so extreme that sentencing them to death for crimes they commit would be cruel and unusual punishment in violation of the Eighth Amendment.
Well, it's cruel and unusual punishment in general. You're a human's putting another human to death. I mean, that's inhumane. But if anyone deserves it, it's this guy right here.
He, according to his medical records, really fits within that spectrum, then yes, it's the best possible outcome or sentencing relative to that, because at least he will be in jail for the rest of his life where he cannot hurt anyone outside of the prison, and the death penalty is otherwise not an option.
And of course, you spare a family a very public and heart-wrenching trial of having to hear what happened to this 11-year-old girl. I get that. The one question I would have is there's obviously always disagreements between the prosecution and the defense over the death penalty. That's why we have a penalty phase, right? Prosecution puts on their evidence about why they believe the death penalty is appropriate. The defense presents their mitigating factors. Why not at least just present it to a jury? Or is it, look, the prosecutor's duty, if they believe there's significant evidence of intellectual development disabilities, then by law, they can't put on a case?
If a criminal defendant is so severely mentally impaired that they fit within the category of defendants who cannot be sentenced to death constitutionally, then there's always the risk that a jury might not hold them fully responsible for the crime itself. That somehow they did not understand the nature of their crime, or the difference between right and wrong, or what they were really doing in terms of how they committed this murder.
Well, look at the little girls that did the Slender Man unalivings. To that little girl, they stabbed her to death or whatever. The one little girl's getting out the mental hospital now because they said that they had a mental defect. She's going to be able to live her life. She's in her 20s maybe.
And if that was a real risk, then simply separating him from society forever does seem to be as close to justice as was obtainable.
That's a really, really good point. Yeah. Again, risk of trial. I want to talk about the victim impact statements in this case that were delivered during McDougal's sentencing. And my understanding, right, I would be correct to say that as a point of law, their statements didn't affect the sentence, right? I mean, it wasn't going to change life in prison without the possibility of parole. But this is an opportunity for them to speak on behalf of Audrey and talk about what her loss and what this crime had on them. I would be fair to say that this wasn't going to affect the judge's decision, right?
That's true. But sometimes it does. And victim and family impact statements are a useful part of the criminal sentencing process for each of several reasons. One, they give crime victims and their loved ones an opportunity to express their grief as well as their rage at the perpetrator in a manner that's safe and legal for them to do so. They do, in some cases, help educate the judge who's about to impose sentence on the defendant as to how much harm he or she has caused by their actions. They provide a voice for the deceased victim from those who knew them best, loved them the most. And they can reveal, although in this particular case that wasn't important because the judge, it sounds like because of the plea deal, the judge knew exactly what the sentence would be. They can reveal how much the defendant does or doesn't bear remorse for the terrible harm they've done. In this case, Mr. McDougal reportedly didn't even look those who made their impact statements at all while they made them, nor show any emotional response. Now, that doesn't always mean that the defendant is just calloused and evil, although it certainly can. In some cases, it might be that there is some sort of disconnect to what's happening because of the nature of the mental defect. And in this case, we don't know. And as you point out correctly, it wouldn't have been consequential in how he was sentenced.
But let's talk about what he had to hear, because these were highly emotional statements. And as reported by Click2 Houston, I'm going to go through some of them. So Audrey's father, Josh Cunningham, called his daughter the smartest, sweetest little girl, said to McDougal, "She gave my family purpose and you stole that from me. I hope you have a very short life sentence." Audrey's aunt said, "Because of you, we were forced to search desperately. Because of you, we had to bury our precious little girl. Because of you, we saw our community come together. There's no punishment severe enough for the things that you have done." Audrey's grandmother, Tabitha Munch, called Audrey a little angel and said to McDougal, "You took away the life of our little angel. Your punishment in this life will never fit the crime. Nothing will ever bring her back, and that's your fault." And she added, "May you rot in hell."
Ooh.
Audrey's grandfather, Philip, called McDougal a
I like it when they say stuff like that, though.
monster, pretending to
May
be
you
her
rot in
friend,
hell.
and added, "May you burn in the eternity and the flames of hell." Now,
Wow.
Jeffrey, I have heard a lot of victim impact statements in my career here. You know, this is some of the most difficult moments in our legal system in a trial.
I would say
Your
that is the
thoughts
most
on what
difficult.
this family had to say?
Well, obviously they spoke incredibly powerfully and painfully. And, it's stark reminder that when a heinous crime like this is committed, it doesn't just end one life, it changes many for the remainder of theirs. I was struck by the comment, "I hope you have a very short life sentence," from Josh Cunningham, because one of the unspoken things in a room like that in those moments, people think about it. He was vaguely referring to it as vigilante justice in prison. Mr. McDougal is not going to county jail. He's going to a penitentiary for the rest of his life. And county jail is a tough place, but a penitentiary is a whole other matter, and can be
I think he'll
especially
fit
so
right
for
in.
inmates who commit crimes against children, which is what he did. And in no way, shape, or form am I suggesting that vigilante justice in prison is a good thing, but it does happen. And I do think that it was interesting that, at least as I interpreted it, Mr. Cunningham was at some level alluding to that possibility.
And I will tell you, this guy is no stranger to a life behind bars, because now let's go into his criminal history. So it was reported by CNN that we talked about before. He was convicted of enticing a child in 2007, pleaded
Oh my gosh. I'm going to show you a picture of him, what he looks like now, too.
no contest, sentenced to 2 years.
So his eyes are the same there. Okay. Wasn't going to bring up the eyes, but I'm bringing up the eyes. You know, in the pictures, he has two different color eyes. I thought maybe it was just two different color eyes. You can't get an eye transplant. So what happened to his eye, I wonder? Because these both look brown to me, right? And then in his other pictures, one's like blue. It's like sky blue, like crazy blue.
Years behind bars. In fact, according to People magazine, that victim was 10 years old when she was assaulted by McDougal, namely him trying to take down her pants. She had to fight him off. Then a few years later, he's convicted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, including using a knife, 4 years in prison. And apparently, when he was named as a suspect in Audrey's murder, he was already in custody on an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge, as per court documents that were obtained by KHOU 11. He apparently stabbed a man in the back. Now, it was reported by Click 2 Houston that Audrey's grandparents knew about his past, but they wanted to give him a second chance. But they weren't aware of the sex crime charge because, as we mentioned, he wasn't on the sex offender registry.
Okay, then that's fine if they wanted to give him another chance. But why would you ever let him take your kid to school, to the school bus stop? I don't care. I wouldn't let him. No, I can take my own kid. Or, you know what I mean? Like, just,
And they say that he should have been. And as I mentioned, they want a law passed that would change that. According to Fox 26 Houston, her grandfather, Philip, said, "Our granddaughter was the second victim of his because of a loophole in the law that allowed him not to register as a sex offender. That was the only reason he was allowed to stay at our house. We were asked and we agreed to help him, and we've suffered the consequences." So it's really chilling to think about that, Jeffrey, when we talked about the idea of what would have happened if he was on the registry. But just think about his past. And the main question I have in a lot of these cases is somebody who continually breaks the law, how are they out? How is it possible they're out to commit more crimes?
I don't have a perfect answer to that, insofar as I don't know what the circumstances were involving the release from prison from one crime that he committed to the next. But I think that one of the questions that's implied is, why did the family allow someone with this known violent criminal past to be so close to them, both in proximity and in terms of entrustment with their child? He was supposed to take the child to school.
absolutely not.
I am not implying in any way that any member of the family is responsible for Audrey's death. That's not fair and it's not true. But a lot of that criminal history was known to the family, apart from the enticement of a child. And they decided that allowing him to not just live on the property, but be an integral part of their life and Audrey's life is not necessarily a choice that everybody who has learned about this case would have made for themselves. And people can decide for themselves whether these people were too trusting or simply were cruelly punished for being kind in ways that.
My mom, one time, I was 28 years old. 28 years old. And this van, like I had to take a ride service to my doctor's appointments because I was in a wheelchair. So like couldn't get myself there. And this ride service came to pick me up. And it was a van, but it was like an old, creepy, super creepy van. Like, I mean, I don't even know what kind of van this was now looking back on it. It was super old. It was super sketchy. The person driving kind of looked a little sketchy too. My mom straight went out there and told them that I wasn't going. She's like, she's not going to her doctor's appointment. She doesn't need to go. She doesn't have to go today. And she got back in and I was like getting ready to go out there. She's like, no, something's weird about this. I don't want you going. She's like, there's something weird. And you know, mother's intuition. So I didn't end up going. Good thing. I mean, you never know. But the intuition wasn't there. That's what they needed.
We should be kind. I don't know, but I do know that if a person has committed violent crime, there's every reason to believe they might do it again.
Yeah.
And why he was able to be that close to them and to Audrey is as provocative as the question, why was he out of prison having been so violent in the past?
Yeah, and I don't have easy answers for that, for these difficult questions. But look, at the end of the day, this is some measure of closure for this family. Him being locked away, just a really tragic situation. And I appreciate you coming on, Jeffrey, to talk more about this. Jeffrey B. Simon.
He should have to look at her picture every single day. That should be punishment. They should start punishing people like that. This is what he looks like now. So I think prison life is suiting him. Definitely hasn't seen the sun in 3 damn days. But that's him. That's a scary looking dude. But he does look scared, doesn't he? He actually kind of looks scared. See, now his eyes are blue. Okay, I'm confused in life now. I don't know. I swear, where's that other picture that his eyes are different color? Let me see if I can find it. Where are you at? Stephen McDougal. Don Stephen McDougal. Okay. It's the picture of him and the other guy. Now I can't find that picture. What'd they do? Get that one off the internet real quick and in a hurry? Right here. Okay. Well, shoot, this is kind of small. Let me see if I can blow it up. Are you not going to let me blow this up? Oh, wait. There we go. You can kind of see it now. Now, see, his eyes are 2 different colors here. One squintier. Am I losing my mind? Something must have maybe happened between that time and this time. I don't know. That's just weird to me. Yeah, right, Tony? I mean, he even looks creepy. It's not that he is creepy. I mean, he is creepy, but I'm sorry. He does. He looks like it. With the tattoos, these ones. I don't care about tattoos. These ones, the white power ones. I wouldn't let that person probably be around my daughter. That's just me. So they are going to try to, get a law going, which is good for Audrey's law, or for Audrey. And they're going to make it to where he would have had to have been, no matter, I guess, what the charge is. If it's something to do with a child, then, they're going to be on the registry. No more of them get out of jail free cards. But I thought I would, since I mentioned something about the Slender Man case, I thought I would show you. Let me put this back here so I don't lose it. So these are the girls now. They were 12 years old. So Anissa and Morgan. These two little girls were 12 years old when they stabbed their close friend 19 times in an effort to please the mythical horror figure Slender Man. They believed with their whole heart in this Slender Man. And I don't know. We'll read through the article. It's crazy what these little girls thought. But it says the Slender Man character is believed to have originated in an illustration from 2009 of a tall, thin man with tentacle-like arms and abilities, including mind control and teleportation. Slender Man went viral on creepypasta sites which share horror stories. Do you guys know what creepypastas are? They're like horror stories that aren't real. But together, the girls grew obsessed with Slender Man and plotted to kill their classmate Peyton Lautner in an effort to become proxies for the character who they believed was real. Like, these little girls truly believed that this character was real. They stabbed her 19 times before leaving her for dead, but she survived. Oh, she survived. Oh, I forgot about that. She did survive, didn't she? I thought she didn't. I forgot she did survive. The case inspired an HBO documentary and the 2018 feature film Slender Man. I haven't seen that. Has anyone seen that movie? Was it good? I just know of the case because of ID Channel and stuff like that. I think I saw a documentary about it on there. But it says here's everything that they know. So it says that the three girls were all students at Honoring Middle School in Milwaukee suburb of somewhere in Wisconsin. Keisha? Lautner and Geiser had actually become friends first. In an episode of 2020, Lautner recalled that she befriended Geiser after seeing her eat alone at lunch. She also described her former friend as funny and a little lonely. Oh, that's so sad. You know what I mean? She's being so nice about her. However, Lautner said their relationship changed after Geiser befriended Wire in 6th grade in 2014. Wire and Geiser grew obsessed with Slenderman, leading Lautner to want to distance herself from Geiser. I thought it was odd. It kind of frightened me a little bit, but I went along with it. Yeah, she was a kid. I was supportive because I thought that's what she liked. However, in time, Lautner started considering ending her friendship with Geiser. I saw the change from 5th to 6th grade when she met Anissa. That's when I was really wanting to get out of that friendship. So she even saw it. But man, they believed that he was real and he lived in the woods. Over the course of several months, those two girls devised a plan to murder Lautner to try to become proxies for the fictional horror character. Using code words like cracker for knife and camping trip for the woods where they believed Slender Man resided in February 2014. The girls chose May 31st of that year for their attempted slaying. Wow, she was stabbed 19 times and survived. Man, you know what I mean? It's crazy how some people their body can. They must have just not. Thank goodness, went deep enough or something, or hit any of the organs. But it says that they left her for dead. She survived. She crawled onto a nearby bike path where a passerby called 911 and stayed with her until paramedics arrived. Oh, thank goodness for the passerby. Local police found the girls, who were both 12 at the time, walking on the side of the road miles away from the crime scene and picked the girls up. They reportedly were nonchalant when they informed investigators they killed their friend to appease Slender Man, who they thought would kill them or their families if they didn't kill Lautner. Geiser, covered in blood, told police, "I might as well just say it. We are trying to kill her." So this is Anissa's sentence, and she was sentenced. They were each charged with first-degree intentional homicide. Despite their age, they were tried as adults. In August 2017, Wire pled guilty to second-degree attempted homicide as a party to a crime with the use of a deadly weapon. The following month, a jury ruled that Wire was mentally ill at the time of the murder attempt and found her not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. In her plea agreement, She was sentenced to a maximum of 25 years in a psychiatric facility. She was mandated to spend at least 3 years in a psychiatric hospital before she could apply for supervised release. Just 3 years, which would be part of the commitment order. She was also credited for 3 years as she served in a juvenile detention facility. Oh, she looks scared. Morgan Geyser, yeah, she looks terrified. Geyser's attorneys argued in court documents that she suffered from schizophrenia and psychotic spectrum disorder, which made her prone to delusions and paranoid beliefs. She pled guilty in October 2017, sobbing in court, and was committed to a mental hospital. Despite her plea deal, she was found not guilty by reason of mental disease or disorder. She was sentenced to 40 years in a psychiatric hospital, which Judge Michael Boren said was because it was an issue of public protection. So, what did they say, 25 for the first girl? Yeah, 40 for her. So apparently she did more of the, maybe more of this, the actual, like, I don't know, stabbing, but they both should have got the same amount of time. They both were there. They both did it. And it says, so she's hospitalized for 10 days after the attack. Wow. Only 10 days. Wow. Following months, and as many as 8 medical appointments per week during her recovery. Oh, girl, I feel ya. She returned to Honoring Middle School for 7th grade in September 2014. That's awesome. A representative for the Lautner family said that Lautner excelled academically, participated in school music programs, and volunteered at an animal shelter as she had before the attack. She said she and her family each sought counseling to cope with the trauma of the stabbing. Wow. In 2019, she spoke publicly for the first time on a 2020 interview. And it says that she slept with broken scissors under her pillow 5 years after the attack. She also revealed that she was actually somewhat grateful for what happened to her. I can relate to that too. Just because of what she did, I have the life I have now. Lautner said, I really, really like it, and I have a plan. I didn't have a plan when I was 12, and now I do because of everything that I went through. I wouldn't think of someone who went through what I did would ever say that, but that's truly how I feel. Without the whole situation, I wouldn't be who I am. I want to see, one of these girls got out. This girl, okay, so she was released. So Anissa, I think that's how you say it. She was released in September 13th of 2021. She's subject to 24/7 GPS tracking. Okay. Mandated to continue psychiatric treatment. And they denied Geyser's petition for early release. I was just reading if there's anything else. In January 2025, Associated Press reported that a judge ordered Geyser's release after expert testimony claimed she had made noticeable progress while at Winnebago Mental Health Institute and was no longer considered a safety risk. So they're now 22 years old. Wow. Can you imagine spending from 12 years old to you're like 22 in jail? You come out like not even knowing what to do. Loves to lurk. I could do that. I saw that Stacey Wondra did those interviews, and then I was like, should I play them? And then I don't know why we didn't do that live, because we covered Monkey's case. Hey, Unnamed True Crime Channel. Hey, Sarah, welcome in. Hey, Tempest. So the other one, yeah. So the other one got out too in January this month, 2025. They just released her. I thought only one got out too. I'm glad we were like, remember that. Wow. Like, can you imagine being 12 years old and thinking that? I mean, what the hell's wrong with kids nowadays? When I was 12 years old, you know what I was doing? I was cutting my friends' hair and pretending like I was a barber. I was probably getting in trouble because I was literally cutting people's hair out just a little bit. But I was like trying to build businesses. No wonders why I'm a business owner. I was always trying to get a business going. Yes, I saw that Monkey's Army. Okay, I couldn't remember. Couldn't remember the channel name. If it was, I knew it was like Monkey something. We should play that. We should play that. That's yeah. Isn't she really sick? Doesn't she need a liver transplant? I thought I heard that, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Like that family does not need to go through any more. Okay. Now I see. Let's see. It's not coming up for me. Maybe if I put her name in. Oh, yep, here it is. Okay. Well, this isn't from her channel though. No, here it is. Okay, I found her channel now. Okay, so she has 2 up here. Oh man. Oh, so she has the videos up too. Okay, but they're just fun to clutch them pearls. Is I think she gave him the videos or something, and then he watermarked them. But the watermark is just straight across the middle, and I hate that just because like my eyes just go to that. Like the whole time I'm reading, clutching pearls, like just over and over again. But if you're not aware of who Brandy Neal is, she's Michael Monkey Vaughn, his mother. He went missing in 2021 from his neighborhood. His mom was at work at the time, and his dad was taking care of the baby. They were ordering pizza, getting the kids fed, doing what they do. It was summer, so of course, being 5, Michael didn't want to come inside, and he wanted to go outside and play. So he decided to go outside and make some friends and go find his friends because they lived in a neighborhood, like a housing development. And he went to one friend, and they couldn't come out, and he went to like 3 different people. One lady, I believe, even walked him back to his house, if my memory serves me correctly. It's been forever since I've covered this case, but there's been 4 suspects since pretty much the beginning. Not like the beginning, but there's for the last 2 years, over 2 years, there's been 4 suspects that are like they've been talking about. Brandy Neal is Michael Monkey's mom, and she has been really sick lately. Yeah, he is. I covered his story. I covered his case, but only like a couple videos, a few videos, because there wasn't a lot of information at the time. But I really liked the officer that was in charge, the chief. I really liked JD. Is it Huff? I really liked him, and I really have a mad respect for Brandy Neal. I mean, like I don't know how she does it. I watched this earlier, and it was, she says like what, 1,277 days or something like that. It's like, oh my gosh. But we're going to listen to this. This is going to be an update from her, and then we'll go over the whole case one night this week. We'll like cover the new, body cam and stuff, and listen to him say where Michael was supposed to be buried, but they never end up finding him. It's a crazy case. It's like all these, it's just like these poor kids. I don't know how to even explain it. This is going to be Brandy. And I do believe she's waiting for like a liver transplant. And it says, update from Brandy Vaughn, 1/24/25, suspects will be charged.
Hi, everybody. I'm here today.
Oh, it's really, really low. I don't know if I can boost it. Let me see.
It is Friday, January 24th,
Okay.
2025. Michael Joseph Vaughn.
I boosted the audio as much as it'll go. She speaks very, very light. But I did boost it as high as it'll go. So we'll just be really quiet, and I'll mute myself.
On July 27th of 2021, it has been 1,277 home. Brooklyn Police Department, the FBI, many other agencies have diligently, tirelessly worked effortlessly to help find Michael and bring him home and get justice for Michael. There have been 4 named suspects in Michael's case. Stacy Wandra, Sarah Wandra, Brandon Shirtliff, and Adrian Lucian. I went and spoke with the prosecuting attorney at Mike Duke's office this afternoon. I saw the complaint file documents for the charges for those 4 suspects that will be brought to them. As hard as they were all to see them in words, but tears on those papers. Justice is coming. As those papers are drawn, Portland Police Department are continuously and still working on leads and suspects that are speaking to law enforcement, as well as other persons of interest in Michael's case. They're doing a tremendous job, all of them, and they're working together. And we stand with them. It was amazing to see, and as heartbreaking it is to see.
Look at that. And she says, we stand with them. Like they are back in the blue, you know, they know that those guys are out there and those girls are really trying to find where Michael is and really what happened to him.
Nobody's giving up. And those charges, they are coming.
Gives me goosebumps.
Thank you, everybody that continues to support the law enforcement and our justice system, our Pitt County justice system. They're going to get justice for Michael. So, Sarah, Stacy, Brandon, Adrian, charges are coming. We know what you did. That's where Michael is. Because no matter what, justice will come. And we will find Michael. Monkey's Army will never give up. Thank you, everyone, again for your support. Continue and pray for answers. And please continue to support our law enforcement and the prosecuting attorney who will be trying these suspects in the abduction of our son, Michael Joseph Vaughn.
Oh. So is that what you think they're going to do? Maybe. Oh, I thought I was muted. Do you think that maybe they're going to charge them right now with the abduction? And then once they find him, they'll charge them with the murder? Because they could charge him with abduction right now, kidnapping. I mean, especially with Stacy Wandra talking all what he was talking, you know. I heard a little bit of the interview, so. Yeah, it's super low, the audio is. And Brandy does talk really soft, too. So I tried to boost it as much as I could. Oh, Mary Beth, I hope you feel better. Make sure just turn out the lights. Tell people to shut up around you other than me. Because I know that noise, you know, it could bother you, too.
Monkey, baby, I promised. We keep fighting every day.
Mm.
Pinky promise, my love.
Oh, that's going to make me cry.
Be kind, everyone. I'll be in touch.
Damn you, Brandy. When she said pinky promise, I put tears in my eyes. Oh my gosh. Brandy Neal. I mean, that's a mom right there for you. And she was blamed, just like Katie. You know, she was blamed. You had something to do with this. She was at work. And then they blamed her husband, of course. I mean, people blamed them so much. Thank you, Mary Beth. I can't wait to see the charges too. I haven't covered this case in a long time, and hearing Brandy and talk like that, it brought back the, you know, the hurt for her, and their whole family. I mean, their whole family is just, it's crazy. Let's see, what else do we have? I wanted to share this again. It's for Emma Baum. We went over this case a couple nights, and I haven't heard any updates really going on. But it says the Gary Police Department is asking for the public's help in locating a missing 25-year-old female. Emma Baum was last seen on October 10th, 2024 in Gary, Indiana. Relatives said Baum lived in Portage, Indiana, but was visiting her boyfriend in Gary on the 2500 block of Connecticut Street when she was last seen. And we pulled up the Google Maps when we did coverage of her case. The boyfriend's in custody, but is being held in connection with an unrelated case. She is known to wear different hair pieces and wigs, but is naturally brunette. She also has several scars on her arms and has several tattoos. Anyone with information about her whereabouts should call the Gary Police Department at 219-881-1209 or the crime tip hotline at 1-866-CRIME-GP. So her family, I guess, have come out and just kind of revealed some suspicions that they have about her disappearance. And so I thought we would read through this just to get her name out there, you know, keep it out there because it's been a while since we've covered this. But she was like ready to give birth at any minute. Like she was 1 centimeter dilated. So there's someone, if she's alive, there's someone out there with a baby right now, and they haven't gotten any help because we haven't heard from any hospitals that, you know, have anybody, you know, matching her description in them for having a child. But an Indiana woman was 9 months pregnant when she disappeared over 3 months ago, and her family has suspicions about her last whereabouts. Mother of 3, Emma Baum, 25, went missing October 10th in Gary, Indiana, when she was about to give birth to her 4th child. Baum was last seen being dropped off at her boyfriend's house. Her sister, Haley Baum Wadle, told Fox News Digital. Looking for Emma has been a very struggling thing for everybody, mentally, physically, and emotionally, but we're not going to stop looking for her. I think if people keep going on and chanting that something needs to be done and chanting her name, just get the word out because a lot of people know, but not everyone knows. Authorities received a missing persons report for Baum from her family on October 28th. A couple of days went by. We all started like messaging each other. Hey, have you heard from Emma? Anybody seen her? Can you message one of her friends to get a hold of her boyfriend? And it was just kind of a ring around with everybody, and everyone's just trying to figure it out. That's sad. Then we're like, okay, well, this is not normal. That's when my mom really started to panic, she added. Then my mom ended up going to the police station. And this is his house where she was like dropped off at. We have searched a house, apartment, recreational vehicles, and one other property. In addition to the police investigation, Baum Waddle said she and other relatives of Baum have been organizing a widespread search after a social media post of hers drew hundreds of willing participants. There's a lot of people who are offered to come out and look for her, she said. We've talked it over with other search groups. I made a post online just saying, you know, hands of how many people would be willing to come out. And I posted it in multiple groups. So Baum lived in Portage, Indiana, but was visiting her boyfriend in Gary when she was last seen. This is where she was last seen. Baumwaddle said her sister didn't have a working phone when she disappeared, and that although her sister may have gone off and done her own thing for several days at a time, she would never disappear for such a long period of time. That day, she was supposed to go with her boyfriend to the phone store and get it activated. And she never got the phone activated, she said. She's been completely silent on everything, and now that's not even like her. Baumwaddle also mentioned her sister's devotion as a mother and the close relationship she has with her oldest son. They have a freaky, crazy, unbreakable bond, she shared. For her not to be there to see him on Christmas or Thanksgiving or New Year, it's unreal. There's no way she would do that to him. Oh, thank you. I think he loves the lurk. Thank you for covering the underdog cases. Oh, yeah. We're gonna cover Madalena's tomorrow more. I kind of want to do the law and crime video tonight, but I kind of want to save it for tomorrow. But then again, I have so much we can go over. And I didn't watch it. I was waiting to watch it with you guys. Baumwaddle believes her sister's boyfriend is hiding something. And Baum's mother believes the boyfriend has something to do with her disappearance. Wow. We have not charged anyone in the disappearance of Emma Baum, and she has not been located yet. We continue to search and interview individuals that are or may be associated with the case. Baum's boyfriend, who was originally in custody in an unrelated case, was released from Lake County Jail and is awaiting his court date for this separate charge. Wonder what he was arrested for. May have to look at that up. It says Baum is approximately 5'3", weighs about 136 pounds, and has brown hair and brown eyes. She has several scars and tattoos and often wears colorful wigs. Emma gave everybody her all, gave them all the love that she could, Baumwaddle emotionally said about her sister. She has these big brown eyes, and she's always just wanted to make everyone, laugh or feel good about themselves or have them feel included. It is very difficult because now it's not just her that's missing, it's her baby. And you don't want to think, the worst, because who would want to, hurt a girl and her baby? We just are hoping to find her safe. Yeah, I mean, really, who would want to hurt a girl that's 9 months pregnant? I mean, that he had 9 months to back out of this thing. If it's the boyfriend, he could have, scooted out. But now she's 9 months, she's about to have the baby. He's probably been telling her the whole time, I can't wait to go to the hospital, have this baby with you. I don't know. I don't like the way this is heading. And thank you for subscribing. Oh, do you work at night? Sometimes we do some day lives. Oh, good, Sarah. This is a great group of people. Let me tell you. Even like we have larger lives, like larger chats. It doesn't really matter the chat size. We don't get a whole lot of riffraff in here. And I've been known to keep places safe for people. I don't know. That's just my thing. So that must be my thing here too. I want to keep you all safe. So, let's see. What else do I want to show? I'm going to show you. I think I'm going to show you the Madalena stuff tomorrow. Let me see how long we've been on. Oh, only an hour. Okay. It's not that long. Let me get rid of some of these windows. And it's funny. I was going to start, Loves to Lurk. I was going to start printing off the documents that you sent me for Madalena's case. I was going to start printing them off and just like sitting down and just going through them and just rereading stuff like, some of the stuff I've read before, but most of that is all new and I haven't read it. So. Good. I'm glad you feel that way. I remember when we were, after like, we had the lockdown in 2020. After we were able to come back out and play, that's what I used to say. I had a lady come into my store, and I had a boutique in the mall. I worked for a boutique store in the mall, and it was impeccable. Like it was perfect. It was not a little thing of dust nowhere. We did what we needed to do. And I remember this lady came in one day and was shopping, and she looked at me And she was like, thank you for like making me feel safe to like come out and shop. And that made my whole life. Used to hold highlighter. Yeah, no new news. Yeah, but I think there's stuff that I don't know that I feel like I should know. That I'll find out more in that, with the documents. Yeah, we can agree to disagree. And if people get crazy, I just kick them out. I just kick them all out. Let me see, where were we at? Okay, I was going to go over Elijah Vu a little bit. I really could not like find a whole lot on the case. Like, I think they pled not guilty. And I believe that was like at the end of October. And this is the next article that I could find out about it. So, and this is since November. So there has to be something that I'm just missing. Maybe that's on Reddit or something, I need to dig a little deeper, but I did want to get you guys a little bit of an update because, and I want you guys to remember that we're still thinking of Elijah, here on the channel, always thinking of him. If you're not familiar with Elijah Vu's case, he was a three-year-old little boy out of Wisconsin. His mother decided that it was time for him to be a man at 3 years old. Time to grow up and be a man. Sent him to her boyfriend's house to be pretty much abused repeatedly to the point where we all think, and so do investigators, that Jesse Vang killed Elijah Vu. He pled not guilty. It says to multiple charges related to the death of Elijah Vu, a missing child who was found dead in September. He went missing, I believe, in March. Didn't find him until September. Oh, February, sorry. In February. The 3-year-old went missing from a residence in Two Rivers, Wisconsin in February. Vang, who was the child's caretaker at the time, reported him missing to police. An Amber Alert was issued. Basically, Vang entered a not guilty plea on all charges of felony physical abuse and of child causing death, felony hiding a corpse, felony chronic neglect of a child, and misdemeanor obstructing an officer. This is him. Isn't he just gorgeous? Vang told officials that he was in a relationship with Elijah's mother, Katrina Barr. Barr told police she took Elijah to stay with Vang on February 12th because she wanted him to teach her son to be a man. The child was reported missing 8 days later. Last time we saw him on video was on February 16th, and that's the last day I'm going to say that he was alive. We can't corroborate. We can't listen to Jesse Vang and be like, yeah, he's telling the truth. So he could have been, unalive up, 16th on. Vang's criminal history, and I still cannot find the mugshots. I had like this mugshot thing of like, I think it was like 6 or 9 of his mugshots. And in each of them, he has like a different hairstyle, and his hairstyles are so funny. Like they're just like, what are you doing? He'll shave like his whole head, and then he'll have just like, a ponytail right here. Like just, that's it. And then he'll cut that into like a diamond pattern. I don't know. His mugshots are pretty humorous because it's like, no wonders why you had to pick on a 3-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, really, no wonders why you had to pick on a 3-year-old. Couldn't pick on anyone your own age, your own size. But it says here that Vang has been convicted of multiple felonies and misdemeanors. He first faced criminal charges when he was just a teenager. In 2002, so that's 2 years before I graduated, Vang was convicted of felony child abuse when he was 17. So I'm just going to probably say that Katrina knew that. She probably knew his criminal past. He doesn't seem like he had any, like he didn't look like the type that would hide it. But he was found guilty of attacking a fellow juvenile inmate at the Outagamie County Jail. A criminal complaint from the incident obtained by the Herald Times reporter in Manitowoc County, Wisconsin, said Vang punched the 12-year-old victim and struck him multiple times with a plastic chair. Probably one of them hard plastic chairs. Vang was also faced charges of conspiracy to commit human trafficking and SA in 2016. But the charges were dismissed after the victim told police she no longer wanted them to investigate the incident. Well, he could have been in jail probably right now if she wouldn't have done that, but we don't victim blame over here. Vang was in prison from 2018 to 2021 on the charge of federal conspiracy to distribute methamphetamine. Dang. Must have had a lot of meth for that long of a sentence. He was indicted in 2016 and accused of distributing 50 grams or more of a mixture of substance containing a detectable amount of methamphetamine. After his imprisonment, he was placed on supervised release, which was supposed to last until 2025. Huh. Where's the place supervised release? Placed supervised release. Why are we not supervising him? Like, I haven't heard of any supervision, him supervising anything. Thank you, Sarah. That's so kind of you. Thank you. You're right. You can't make a child into a grown up. Oh no, like Jesse's he is very creepy. Like he would make him stand at the edge of the bed and pray for his mother. That to me is the physical abuse is one thing. But when you start to do like the mental shit, like that's mental abuse. Like I mean, to a child, I couldn't imagine myself having to be put through something like that, let alone a 3-year-old child. And you know that's all he wants is his mommy, because he thinks even though his mommy's not being good to him, he still loves his mommy, because that's what little boys do. They love their mom when they're 3. They don't know. They don't know the difference. They're like a little puppy dog, like you do something bad and they keep coming back to you. You know what I mean? Like they keep forgiving you. And that's what's sad. He would only change his diaper once a day. And then he would get mad if he soiled it. He would throw him into a cold shower. Imagine having to hold your bodily fluids all day. Because, once you do it once, you're soiled. You're done. You know what I mean? You're done for the day. Like, this case got me going crazy too. I think Madalena's case is the one that gets me fired up the most, though. I don't know what it is about that case. I think it's because there's not like a whole lot of people that covered it. It's still not. Loves to lurk. You have all the good info. I'm so glad you came in tonight. My eye's twitching again too. This is the 3rd night in a row. That's weird. Maybe I should put my glasses on, I mean, we're reading tonight. We're reading. That's why God made these. Vang told police that he was helping to correct the child's bad behaviors. He said he intended to put Elijah through a boot camp to make him understand that going home is like a privilege for him. Vang said he would punish the child by forcing him to stand without sitting for 3 hours. He also said he would threaten him with cold water. Vang also told officials that the child was scared of him before correcting himself to say the word respected him. Barr was also charged after the child's remains were found on private property in Wisconsin. She pled not guilty last month to chronic neglect of a child resulting in death, neglecting a child, and 2 counts of obstructing an officer. Now, him taking his blanket and placing that somewhere else, that's just like the icing on the cake, I feel like, for me with this case, If you're going to unalive the little boy, at least let him have his favorite blanket. Wherever you're going to lay him, that's what he did. He just left him outside on private property. But the blanket was miles away. But the criminals are dumb, and he didn't take the body very far from his house. I don't know why he didn't, but he didn't. He didn't take it very far at all, so. Well, thank you, Sarah. You're very sweet. Oh, that is cute. I'm about to start super stickering myself so I can see the stickers. Wonder which ones you guys can choose from. I have to look into that. I haven't sent a super chat in a while. I think I sent one to myself one night to see if it would work. I think I said good job, something like that. Oh, look, I did have something up for Michael. We'll have to pin that and watch that next time. And then what do we have here? Oh, okay. So this came out last month. I don't remember if it's been a month since we've covered her case. I mean, I didn't think it had been, but maybe. So I wanted to read through this and see if there's any new info. I couldn't find out any about his court dates. I'm going to have to look under it's Prince William is the court. Prince William Circuit Court is the court that they're going through. I'll have to look through that if it'll come up. So we can kind of see maybe or maybe we can. Nope, this is like the last one they put up. I don't know. We need everybody to come together, like all these people, and get these criminals in jail. And whoever's in jail, we need like status updates. Because I feel like we have a lot of cases that we've covered on this channel, but we're just waiting on like court and status hearings or hearings to start, and stuff like that. And then it's going to be crazy, I feel like, around here. And it'll probably all happen next year. Watch. When Brian Kohlberg goes on trial this year. Wow, that's weird to say. The Commonwealth of Virginia plans to present DNA evidence. So if you're not familiar with this case, let me go back up. This is the case of Mamta Kaffel-Batt. This is her husband, Narish Batt. He is charged with her disappearance. We haven't found her. They haven't found her body yet. They've been searching for months. Since last August September. She went missing in the end of August. The beginning of August, but end of July. And that's when they think that she was murdered. They did find blood evidence in the home, in the bedroom, in the master bathroom of what appears like a body was being moved and dragged. They have a 1-year-old daughter together who had just turned 1 right when she went missing. And everyone knew she wouldn't just leave without her daughter, Nima. So they got some more evidence that they're going to, produce a trial. And it says the Commonwealth of Virginia plans to present DNA evidence at the trial of a man accused of killing his missing Manassas Park wife, Mamta Kaffel-Batt, according to new court documents. And we have went over these court documents, I believe. So that's probably what we did go over. We went over the documents. Let's see if we did. I'll be able to tell you. I know we went over a lot of documents for this case. So the Commonwealth filed the notice on December 19th of its intent to offer the results of the DNA analysis at Narish Batt's trial, which is slated to begin next September. It was going to start, I still have it wrote down, 12/9. But he decided he didn't want that speedy trial anymore. I don't know. They're not doing the speedy. Let's see where we're at. Narish is charged with murder, physically defiling a dead body, and concealing a dead body. This is actual critical evidence for the Commonwealth, remarked John Fishwick, a former U.S. attorney for the Western District of Virginia, who is now a defense attorney through Fishwick and Associates. He has been providing 7 News independent legal analysis on this case. I need an independent legal analysis. Fishwick said, per state law, the Commonwealth has to give the defense this notice of intent as the first step to get that DNA evidence into the trial. He expects the defense to object to this, just like in Brian Kohlberger's case. The 4 certificates of analysis from the Virginia Department of Forensic Science, which are dated between August 28th and November 12th, show the results of the DNA evidence collected during the investigation. This certificate indicates DNA was collected from multiple items inside the couple's house, including a hairbrush belonging to Mamta, a piece of carpet, a garbage can, a bath mat, a reciprocating saw, and knives. It places the defendant in the house, blood evidence on the saw and in other places within the house that is connected to Miss Batt. I think this science evidence leaves holes that the defense will spend a lot of time trying to poke holes into. Fishwick adds, saying he believes the jury will use common sense to come to their own conclusion, even though some of the evidence is less conclusive than others. I think overall the jury will say, I think it's her DNA and I think she was killed in this house. Narish was indicted by a grand jury for murdering and physically defiling a dead body on December 2nd. His trial is set to begin in September, and he's due back in court for a status hearing on March 20th. There we go, March 20th. Write that down. 320 Nareesh. Mamta hasn't been seen or heard from since late July. Police said prosecutors presume she is dead. The defense has previously argued she could still be alive somewhere. Not with the amount of, I think, blood evidence they collected. This week, the defense objected to the Commonwealth's notice to introduce publicly broadcasted interviews of Nareesh Bhatt from a local news outlet. As business records, Fishwick expects the judge to permit this evidence despite the defense's objection. Well, yeah, they're objecting because he did an interview with two different news. He did one with that lady when he opens the door and he doesn't let her in, like right outside his door. And then the other one when he's like walking to his car, like he's walking to his vehicle. I don't know where he's leaving from. And someone like asks him a couple questions and he answers them. So he might have actually done 3. Let me see. You're talking about the Rodin murders? Let me see. There should be that they're supposed to be going to actually let's look up Sleuthin massacre. We kind of stopped our little thing on that. We need to go back to that. Just says January 3rd. I don't see anything, but I know that he's getting ready to go to on court or on trial. Let's just put it in this way. Was it Billy Wagner, I think, is on trial? Here we go. So they're doing pre-trial. Billy Wagner indicates he wants to go to trial instead of taking possible plea deal. You dumb man. Like, you need to take the plea deal, sir. Your whole family is in the clinker. They're waiting on you. You're the last to go. You're the head of the household. Although Angela, your wife, did more of the buying and all that, planning, I think, than you did. But yeah. It says Waverly, Ohio, which is like right outside of Piketon. So I was from Chillicothe. So I went Chillicothe, Waverly, Piketon. And that's how close to this I was. I grew up right in this people's backyards pretty much. But one of the members of the Wagner family accused of the Piketon massacre was back in court Friday, less than a month after 2 of the other members were formally sentenced. George Billy Wagner faced a judge in a pretrial hearing with his trial on hold. There are 2 appeals over whether the judge can remove the death penalty as an option and whether the trial should be moved out of Pike County. They ain't going to move that trial. Lawyers for the defense and prosecution debated removing some of the charges from the Wagner case, as well as the possibility of plea negotiations. Why would we be removing anybody's charges? They unalived 8 members of a family. They took out a whole family in one night and left babies there to cry while their parents bled out. Like, there's nothing sicker than these people right here. In the criminal justice world, a client makes 3 decisions: whether or not they go to trial or they do a plea, whether or not if it's to a judge or to a jury, and whether or not they testify or they don't testify. Right now, we're going forward with the trial, and Mr. Wagner has indicated that what he wants, so that's what we're working towards. Wagner's younger son, Jake, got a life sentence with the chance of parole after 32 years, 3 weeks ago, from visiting Judge Jonathan Hinn, who also sentenced Wagner's wife, Angela, to 30 years for her role. That's all they got. You got to be kidding me. Jake got a life sentence with the chance of parole after 32 years, and he's the reason why all this happened. It was over custody of children, his children. And he can be out in 32 years, 8 people. Whew. And people be talking about Kohlberger. They'll be opening the door for him after court. And this is how every courtroom is going to be. A jury convicted oldest son George on all charges, and he received life in prison with no chance of parole. So the oldest brother that participated, but I don't think he really like wanted to participate because I think that he was a little softer than the rest of them. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's a big softy. You know, I don't even know how any of these people actually did any of this stuff. They're all just pieces of crap in my mind. But the brother that didn't have the problem with anybody, right? He gets life because he unalive people. That's what you do. But his brother, the reason, the catalyst for all of this to happen, he can get up to 32 years. I mean, he can get paroled if he sweet talks and he does, if he's a good model and, prisoner, he says, I did this because he has taken accountability. He's taking accountability of what he did. Man, yeah, it's going to be weird. It's going to be crazy. I think that was the Piketon one that she was talking about. So I think that's the one she was talking about. Let's see here. Okay, I can close this. Let's close this. And the only other thing I had was Madalena's. But I think we'll wait until tomorrow to do hers. Because I'm going to start I don't know how I'm going to start this. Because I want to do a deep dive into Madalena's case, Madalena Kojikari's case. I mean, we've been covering it on the channel for a little over 2 years, but I just want to do it really, I want to do it right. I want to make sure I don't know. I don't know. I just want to make sure I'm giving her justice and not, I'm getting her justice because she's out there. She's somewhere. I personally believe she's alive. I do. I feel it. I feel like she is. I just really wish we knew where she was. And that's another case we're going to be talking about if you're not familiar with her case. She's a little girl that went missing when she was 11. She went missing out of Cornelius, North Carolina. Her mom was arrested for failure to report a child missing. This is giving you the roughest version. After she didn't go to school for 3 weeks and they sent a truancy packet or officer to the house. Her mom would have left her. Her mom would have never said anything, in my opinion, if the school hadn't called and said, where's your daughter? If you don't bring her by December 15th, we're going to go ahead and we're going to call the police. We're going to, bring police in. But man, it's one of those cases that gets me. I wish I was the one that got her cat. I know the creator that got her cat, and then that woman ended up coming off the internet. She's not even on YouTube anymore. I feel like calling her some days and being like, Michelle, give me the cat. I'm coming to Florida. Coming to Florida to get the cat. Nuh-uh. Is she really? Did she finally make it on the team? I'll have to write that one down. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one before. I'm Astro from Space, Emma Ray. Because we do need some new cases. And then we're still going to do our Idaho coverage too. We're kind of going back to the beginning of that and going over stuff. And I do want to do that one. I want to do the timeline, it's down to the text messages, when they sent the text messages to Jack and everything. That's how, detailed this timeline is going to be. So we'll go over that. I have a bunch of stuff open for Madalena, because they did bring out new warrants, and Loves to Lurk sent them to me. Loves to Lurk is awesome. And I did put in a FOIA request. I don't know if I did it right. I hate putting in FOIA requests because they're all different. I'm just checking the other tabs that I had open on my page here. They're all for Madalena. Oh, and then this is the one that has her mom's address. I really want to write her mom. I'd like to tell her something. I'd like to say something to her, Maybe I'll write her every day. The same letter. Oh, wow. Her dad went and found her. Oh, wow, I'll have to look into that. Now that's probably a heartwarming story. You know, her dad went, you don't mess with people's kids. My dad would do the same thing. If someone S-trafficked me in my younger years, my dad would have moved heaven and high earth. You know what I mean? He would have to get to me, but yeah, that's really sad. Was she alive when they found her? Oh man, Aries. Oh, Julie's on the green team. If you don't know who Julie is, I have not watched a full live of Julie. Even when people when they review her, I can't listen. There's a couple I just can't listen. It's too slow. Well, she cries a lot, and I don't like seeing people cry. So I've seen that when I have seen her clips. Like, you know, I'll click on it, like not on her page, but I'll click on someone reviewing her and she's crying, and I'm just like back out. I'm just like, I don't want nothing to do with that. Oh, wow, that's awesome. So oh man. I've been harassing her for 2 years. She won't break. Have you tried to be like, you probably have tried this. This is what you probably done. You've probably done the nice thing, haven't you? Try to warm up to her. I want to go in there and just be like, tell me where she's at. I would just like to just tell her, hey, I don't care what you do with your life, Diana. I really don't care about you. I don't care about you, Diana. And I really don't care about your mom. No offense to Grandma Kojikari. Actually, take it all the offense, Ricotta, because you said in that interview, you said, let my daughter come out of here, out of jail, meaning, and we'll leave your country. We'll leave. And that's what you did. You didn't stick around and try to look for Madalena, your granddaughter. You got on an airplane and you skipped freaking countries to Moldova. That's a long flight. Getting the picture like this, smiling. She's on a plane going to another country. Where's her daughter? If her daughter's not Moldova, then I really I'm just blown away. Because when she was walking out of the jail too, when she was first walking out of the jail, they said, where's Madalena? And it was a split second. It was so fast. You could barely see it, but her little lip went up. Like she smirked. I saw that little smirk. I hope not. We'll make sure she doesn't. I'll write her every day. I don't care. How much postage do you need to write to someone in Moldova? I'll get myself a carrier pigeon that just knows where to go. I'll go all the way back to the old school like that. But yeah, no, so we've tried to be friendly. That just makes me laugh. But make sure you guys are here for tomorrow's live. We're going to do it over Madalena. I want to make sure we get the word out. She really needs help. This little girl needs help. She doesn't have anybody other than people online, you know? You think Romania or Egypt? You know more than me, but I would like to know why you know that. Why you think that? I would think Romania, maybe. I wonder if she even knows that, like, she's missing. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like she's alive. I don't know. I don't get that with a lot of cases because most of the time it's really bad, you know? But with her case, even though it's been so long, I feel like she's alive. I just feel it. I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my body. I just feel it. Thank you, Ladybug. It's been bothering the crap out of me. It's been really bothering me. Tonight's hasn't been too bad. I didn't wear makeup tonight, but when I put makeup on yesterday, it started bothering me. And like last night, it was making a popping noise a little. Like, I know it sounds gross. Like it wasn't suctioned in or something. We're talking about my eye now. But I asked Vincent if he wanted to put my old one back in today, and he was like, I was like, can you get it? He's like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, never mind. So we're just going to wait. You've always thought that 2 loves to lurk. Me too. Me too. Even whenever I said like the last proof of life is her on the 21st on, you know, coming off that bus, I still think she's alive. Hey, Jay Jones, welcome in. I really do. And I hope we can find her. Wouldn't that be so awesome? If the Cornelius the police department could go and take that sign down that's out front of their, you know, and put found or something, or I don't know, just we'll find her one day. I don't care if she's across the world. We'll find her. And if not, we'll just continue to keep talking about her until she finds us. Because internet, you know what I mean? Like the internet is worldwide, the World Wide Web. So I haven't called it the World Wide Web in forever. I'll go over to Twitter really quick and see if there's anything over here. Oh, there's everything on my Twitter feed. I swear it's, wow, look at this. Eagles fans coming out in the drones. Let me see. Is this it? No, this isn't it. It's this page. I have like 2 X's up, but look at all those people. Philadelphia likes their people, their Eagles. That's well, I wanted to say something about is this really like a parody account of his? Steve, I need the real Steve. Okay. So he went out and he's looking for Chelsea Grimm again. So I thought we would just look at his post real quick. So it's really exciting to hear that he's out there and he's searching for her still. We will do a full live on her case as well, especially after he's done, you know, spending a few days out there searching. I'll ask him what he's found, if he found anything that's related or anything he thinks could be related. It would be really nice to get some answers in that case. But she was a young lady that she was supposed to be going cross country from California to Connecticut to go to a wedding, best friend's wedding. She said she was going to do the drive because she had a bearded dragon. She couldn't take on an airplane. She ends up going missing in the desert where she wasn't even supposed to be. And SF is one of the people that's been actively on the boots on the ground searching for her for the last couple years or year. It says, from searching for Chelsea Grimm today, the second photo is of the stars after dark tonight. It's wild how close the stars appear when there is no city light contamination. Oh yeah, he's used to like LA and fires right now. Probably excited to not see fog in the sky or smoke. And then this is his like setup. And he showed me his setup and how it works before. Look at his little gun right there. It's not little. It's like an AR. Friggin' man, it's a big gun there. You got yourself there, Steve. I guess no one messes with him. But no, he has it where like he could do like drones and it'll tell you like heat signals, like where people are, and it'll show you like these little dots. Like if it reads off of it. I don't know. It's just very interesting. It's very, very interesting. This is the drone thing I was telling you about right here. We'll watch this real quick. I don't know if he talks or not.
Switch to hit that.
Maybe he was trying to. Yeah, I don't think he talks. But it's like, how do you see down through those trees? Like, I would feel like I would miss something. Oh, look. He has like this little screen down here too with the actual like the little plane on it. That looks like a huge drone.
Wouldn't it be amazing to just spot a bandana or something?
Oh, shit.
But
Whole skeleton.
sad. I really hope oh, I'm back on this page again. I really hope that he can find something out there, but everyone is going off of the deep end on Sebastian's case. I was going to see if there was like when I was just scrolling through earlier, it was like everything was about Sebastian. Now it's all about football because they're playing football. But I did see a lot of posts about. I haven't been following at all. But yeah, let me see if I can go down and see if there's anything. I don't even know whose For You page this is. Look at this. I don't. What am I watching? Oh, there they start Hong at night. Old Hong. The last of the hostages from the war, they are being released. Beautiful young ladies, beautiful. These are four of the strongest women you'll ever lay your eyes on. They were in there for 471 days. No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, loves to lurk. I know there's so many cases. So many. Yeah, look how pretty those girls are. They were just stolen. I don't even call it kidnapping. I call it stealing. Oh, and then have you guys seen these? Before I get off here, I'll show you this too. This is crazy. Okay, so this is Ariel from somewhere in Los Angeles. And it says help everywhere. Like somebody went into this it's a yard for that has like those big shipping containers in it. And it says help and Traffico was written in the debris. Like, and it even gives you the coordinates up at the top. Like that is a little concerning a little. Like I don't know what they need help from. Maybe this is Skid Row and they're scared Betty's coming. Just kidding. But no, that right here it says like help here too. Like, and this is where the shipping containers are. See, you can see the help. I wonder who would do that. Like, I mean, it's like with purpose. Like, how did they move those logs? Like, you have to have more than one person to do that. You definitely have to have a team of people doing this because there's a lot of like help signs. So very weird. Okay. Egg prices are skyrocketing. That's what JLR is saying. Mad rush to buy up eggs in supermarkets all across the country. Avian flu killed millions of hens last December and November. Was it deliberate? I'm out in the field investigating. Okay, JLR. Okay, that's all I got for you guys, I think. I was just looking to see. What's this? Oh, no, that's it. Yeah, I think that's all. Okay. Well, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Oh, you just saw it? Or I'm confused. I'm confused. But Yeah, I don't like this guy goes all the way from I can't look when it goes down like that. Oh, like the moon or the earth thing gets me dizzy, makes me dizzy. But thank you guys all for being here tonight. We did an hour and 44-minute live. Wow, went later than we thought. Like we did more than like, man, we just talked for 44 extra minutes that fast. Wow, look at that. Look at us go. But thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. Stay tuned to the channel. We have a lot of changes coming up. A lot of good changes are coming. So I'm going to do, I'll do a live over it, but I'm going to do more pre-recorded lives. We're going to get some wheels for my adjustable desk so I can move, and we're going to get lights that actually because my lights are like, I don't know how to explain them. They're studio lights, but they're just on like their own tripod. We're going to get the ones that go onto the desk so I can move this whole desk and move it over to my blue chair and have a live over there with you guys sometime and stuff like that. So lots of stuff just like that changing, just for the better. Thanks for the better. What else are we doing? We got our new music, we got our new intro and all that stuff. Oh, is it low? Oh, I shouldn't be. Oh, I'll have to let Vincent know. Well, thank you. Okay, well, I'm going to jump off of here, but thank you guys all for being here tonight. I appreciate it so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I may do a live during the day. I'm not sure. Vincent's off work tomorrow, so I may just spend the day with him and do something with him. But if he decides, to do something different, then I'll be on. I'll do a live. You never know. But thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Tonight, we're gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it away. Just like a spark that's